everyone, it's James, and we are going to have some fun today. So, if you're an RVer, you probably recognize this. In fact, you've probably used one if you're an RVer. This is the Camco Tastepure Filter. And even if you didn't know what it was called, you probably recognize it just by the color and shape alone. Well, Camco has sent us this Tastepure filter because they have just launched a new and improved Tastepure filter, which features 6-step advanced filter technology. And there's one of these steps that I'm particularly interested in. Now, there's a pretty graphic that goes along with this. Hello, pretty graphic. But I thought, rather than just looking at the graphic, I thought it would be more fun to slice one of these in half and let's see if we can identify the 6 steps. So that's what's going to happen. Either that or I'll cut my thumb off. One of those two things I can guarantee is about to happen. So let's get to it. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. I've got my secondary bandsaw over here, and this one I've got rigged with a reduction pulley to run a little bit slower because I don't want to just melt the plastic when I cut through it. So I'm going to cut it on the bandsaw. I've got a nice low fence on here. But here's the thing. If the product packaging is to be believed, there is granular media inside of this filter, and you can actually even kind of hear it there. So I don't want that to spill out before we've got it over to the bench and we're ready to take a look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it through a little bit. As soon as this hose thread is through, I'm going to put this on there to kind of hold the hose thread together. Then I'm going to push it through a little more. Once I get it through more, I'm going to put on a clamp to kind of help hold this together. And so on until we get the filter all the way through the thing. That's kind of the plan for how we're going to cut it. So hopefully that works out. Really? That's what you're focused on? Thanks. I appreciate the confidence. All right, here we go. Okay, so now we'll put this on to hold that together. A little clamp to sort of hold that together. I have all my fingers. All right, let's take this over to the bench and see what we got. We've got kind of our answer key here. So this is sort of what we're expecting to see when we open this up. And the one step that I'm particularly interested in, and you should be too, if you're a part-time RVer like we are, is the KDF additive. KDF stands for kinetic degradation fluxion. Basically what it is it's something that inhibits the growth of microorganisms while the filter is in storage. So if like you use the filter and then toss it in your RV's storage bay for a while and then pull it back out, that KDF is going to be kind of important because it will help keep the filter from getting so funky between uses. So that's something I'm particularly interested in. There's other layers, and we'll take a look at those when we get inside. So here we go. I have covered up my bench with this piece of beater melamine because I don't want to get my bench that dirty. All right, here we go. Ta-da. Okay. All right, so here we go. So starting from inlet to outlet. First, filter hose washer, check. That's important because that will keep like larger gunk from getting into your filter. So that is there. Here we have, I'll pull it out. We have a pre-filtration layer. This is just kind of like another foam layer to help isolate the filter material and keep stuff out. Then we have granular activated carbon, and there is quite a bit of it there. That is what actually is going to remove odors, bad substances, taste, etc. Then And it really is even orange in color. We have a KDF, this probably got mixed up some from the bandsaw, but we have KDF, there we go. We have KDF additive here, and that more or less lines up with what we've got in our answer key. How about that? Then we have a post filtration layer, which is like another small filter. And then finally, this last filter element, which, and I like that it goes all the way down here to get water that might try to go around it. So this polypropylene filter, I'm trying to work it out of here without destroying it, but I'm not gonna have a lot of luck, I don't think. There we go. All right. So now here, we've got around the sides, and presumably I pulled some out of the top too, this spun polypropylene filter material, and this is what gets down to like 20 microns or so. Okay, so now that we've had that fun, let's talk about how I intend to use this. So if you've been to any of my seminars at RV shows, you know I'm a bit obsessed about getting clean, tasty, and safe water while we're on the road. And we drink the water in our RV, so we don't bring along bottled water. We save a lot of weight and a lot of space. But in order to get that clean, tasty, and safe water, you've got to have the right habits and the right equipment. And so that's where this filter is going to come in. This is going to be the first thing that the water goes through on the way into our RV. Well, maybe not exactly this filter, but one kind of similar to it. Since all the water coming into our RV is going to go through the Tastepure, that kind of brings me to something else that I think is kind of important, and that's certifications. You see, unless you have your own water testing lab or you want to spend a whole lot of time testing your RV's water yourself, at some point, you kind of have to take someone's word for it that the filter does what it says it does. And the Camco filters are certified, and they put like a cool little certification placard kind of thing in the box with the filter, right? And so basically this is Camco saying, well, hey, don't just take our word for it. Listen to this guy who has the water testing lab and take his word for it that our filters do what they say they do. And the Camco Tastepure is certified to ANSI NSF 42 and 53 for chlorine, taste, and lead. And it has some additional certifications for being lead-free. It's all right here on the placard. So certification's kind of important because I don't know too many RVers that test their own water. Okay, a couple other tips, or I don't know if these are tips, but these are things I do when hooking up our RV's fresh water. So first, it does no good to filter your water if you're then just going to run it through a dirty garden hose. So for several years now, I've been using the Camco EvoFlex hoses. And I really like them because they never seem to take a set. Like when your hose gets cold and then it's like permanently coiled and doesn't ever want to straighten back out. The EvoFlex hoses don't do that. And I have two of them. I have a 3-foot hose that I hook up to the spigot, and then I put the filter, Tastepure, and then another hose that gets me into the RV. And that's how I hook up. So that's one thing I do. The other thing I do is everywhere I can, I like to put quick connects on our RV's water hoses and fixtures. And I do this because it saves a lot of time and it saves a lot of hassle in hooking things up, right? It's just a lot quicker to do that than to tighten down a hose fitting and make sure you've got it all the way tight. So now these are also, coincidentally, from Camco, and these are made out of plastic. And I got these like a couple years ago. I got on this anti-lead kick and I got rid of all the brass from our RV's water accessories. And so I went with plastic quick connects. Now, I do want to go into how to store your water filter because that's something that comes up all the time in our seminars. And so I actually asked Camco about it just to get their official recommendations. And here's the deal. So what they recommend is first, you drain all the water out of the filter. And that's something I was already doing anyway, just because it's kind of fun. So what I would do is I would shake all the water out of the filter from both ends in the most insane and active way I could think of in the moment. So if you see me walking around a campsite, swinging my arms wildly over my head, that's probably what I'm doing. So, okay, drain it, fine, step one. The second recommendation is that you cap it, and the Tastepure will come with, come on. There we go. The Tastepure will come with caps. So, now they won't do any good on this filter right now, but it'll come with 2 caps so that you can cap both ends of it. Okay, great. And then the third step is to protect it from extremes. So they recommend putting it in an airtight bag and storing it in your fridge. which is basically not too different from how you would store leftovers, right? You'd put them in Tupperware and put them in the fridge. Not two extremes for how they recommend to store it. Only if your RV fridge is anything like ours, when we're on an RV trip, there's probably not gonna be room for storing a filter in the fridge, so that's why I'm doubly glad for the KDF additive in the filters. And well, that's pretty much it. Just, remember to replace your Tastepure filter every roughly 3 months or so. And that should be really easy to do because you can find these literally anywhere RV products are sold. In fact, you can find them on Amazon, and we'll put an Amazon link in the YouTube description, as well as in the post on the Fit RV that goes with this video, which we'll also link in the description. So if you have any comments or questions, pop on over to the Fit RV, and we'll try to get them answered for you. And that's pretty much gonna do it. This is James. We'll see you later. Bye.